So, hello everybody. It is a new session of Holochain-in-Action from the Holochain community. And in this video, we are going to continue working on the UI from the scratch, second part. So previously we implemented a UI from the scratch that then we could continue working on it to connect the UI to the backend part. The backend means Holochain section. So it is the second section. So we are going to review a quick review from the first one. And then in this video, we are going to continue working on the routing, state management. And if we can have enough time, also we are going to implement the Holochain services from UI that we can connect to the Holochain part. If you would like to participate in Holochain-in-Action meeting, which is virtual weekly meeting from a Holochain community, please go to the description and there are some links and description that navigates you to the forum and you're supposed to fill out the application form. So that's being said, and let's continue. Let me share my screen. So let's see where is the place in GitHub. So it is the URL from a peer share that with this URL, I'm gonna put the URL in description also for the peer share. Peer share generally is the application, Holochain application or hApp that we are working on as a use case for the Holochain-in-Action sessions actually. So for the first part, you can go to the previous video in the YouTube channel, and also this branch of a GitHub is about the first part. And the second part, which is today, we are going to work on it and push the changes in this URL. So if you would like to follow up the GitHub repository and test it and compare your code with this one, it is the link. So that's it. Let's see what we have from the previous session and where we are right now. So if you go to the peer share, as you can see here, and outlet layer, if you can run npm start, and then open a localhost 8080. Let me open the localhost 8080 as well. Yes. It is the final result from the part one of a UI from the scratch. So we implemented component base from the scratch. It means the page, it combines the different component. It is a one component for the menu, another component as a header, and another component as a sign-in. Basically, we are using a lit element and to implement the component for the UI, and generally the latest version, which is a lit. So that's it. If you click on any menu, as you can see, there is no routing, nothing is happening. So we are going to continue today. Basically, that is it. First step, we are going to create some content because the content is missed, basic content. And then we will work on a routing. So we will implement routing that when you click on something, the content will be changed. And then we will implement state management. State management means that we are going to have one state for all other components so that they can follow and they can detect any changes from other components. For example, if you log in here, after logging, maybe the menu is supposed to be changed for the non-login user and a login user. We are going to have a more menu for the user who logged in, or the content is going to be changed, or if something happening in one component, other components supposed to react it based on the change or the data. So the whole topic is state management. And we are going also to implement state management today. And at the end, if we are going to have enough time, also we will implement Holochain service to connect this UI to the Holochain part. Let's see how much time we will have at the end. That's it. Let me stop here and go to the content. Let's first of all add some content here as a base content. So I'm going to add a folder here for content, and then I'm going to create a one content named home.ts. So to have a different content, if you remember, for example, for all other components, we created a base component as a parent. So all the component actually inherited from this base component. So if we do some changes here, all other components are going to behave based on this base component, parent-child component or parent-child pattern style. So I'm going to follow the same pattern right now and create here in the view the same pattern and the master class named base content. All the content are going to inherit from this base content. It is the reason. If we want to change something there for all component, easily we can change here. So export. I'm going to create one abstract class that other can just easily just inherit it. So it is TypeScript base content, that this one also inherit from the base component that we already created, because it is also another component, new type of component, base component. So, and here, what I would like to have to just render something. It is a lit. The render is a lit part. So I can say return HTML take high content. So to start, that's it. So what do I have here? The HTML is I'm going to need HTML from lit. That's it. And we are going to import the base component here. Control point is offering or suggesting you what to do. So that's it. And then home, it's going to be the first content, name home, one class, name home, inherit from base content, that the base content is imported from this path. So what is the name of this component? I'm going to say, if you remember, custom element. So app home, it is the name of component on the page actually. So custom element, it is part of a lit element library, that it is a custom element from lit decorators actually JS. That's it. So what else for the beginning? I can say that's it. Let's see how the things are working. So, and then I need to go to HTML. So here, as you can see, we have page header and page heading. We are going to just add one thing like app home app. What was the name? Here, app home home component. We are going to render, and also in the index we are going to import it. Actually, import view content home. That's it. npm start. So that's it. High content. So it means when the application is coming up, right now we created a one base content for the content of the page, and for each content, different menu, we are going to have a different actually component for the content. It is the pattern we are going to follow, we are going to use for the UI. That's good. So far, so good. Let's continue. And so what is the next step? The next step is when we are going to click on this link, it's supposed to change this component, the content. So for having this functionality, it means click on a link and change here. Generally, we are going to implement routing. So routing that each click or each link can navigate us for the different specific URL. In a URL, we can connect the content to URL and query DHT, load some data, and so on and so forth. So to implement a routing, I would like to use a vaadin router. Vaadin is generally some component-based controls that part of it is generally free, and other part is just a business component. It means you're enterprise component. It means you're supposed to pay to use inside your application. So if you would like to see what kind of component and controls you can use, you can easily go to the vaadin and read the documentation there generally, but the router is free of charge and it is easy to use, and I'm going to use that one. npm I assign vaadin/router. That's it. So while it is installing, let me show you something. Okay, as you can see here, for app home, we are just rendering one specific content named app home. It means here this component. But generally, when we want to implement the content based on the routing, it cannot be fixed. It should be dynamic space. So when you click on each link, the content can be automatically loaded. So it means here I cannot use anymore this one, this fixed component. I need to implement a div or a main section, whatever you would like to have with ID that we can implement dynamic routing here. Let me call it content. Okay, first change for implementing routing is going to be applied here. So I just make one element. It can be div or main or whatever you would like. So as you can see, also the vaadin already installed. So then I need to implement something for routing. And what is the best place for routing? For me, I would like to put it beside the index. It means inside the source, because it is more than just the view. Router, just TS. So first of all, let me create a one constant as a router section ID. What was the name? Content. So this content is the ID of this HTML. That's it. It is nothing special. I just don't want to put it as a everywhere. So, and then what's happening? I'm going to create a function init router. So router is kind of singleton. It means when there is a window dot add event listener on load just call this initial router. What does it mean? It means I'm going to add one function to a Windows one function here for the load event of the window. So when the Windows is loaded, actually call this one. And then if I can import this one, if I can import router, so it's going to be called. So what is the router? First of all, I need to create a router element based on a new router object. Router object, I need to import router from vaadin router. So new router get element by ID router section. That's it. So with this line, I'm creating, it is a router, is from a vaadin router. We are just sending one element to the vaadin router and receiving one object actually. So right now we can say router just set routes with array of object with a definition. So how the things are working, let me create one of them and explain. So for each router, you need to specify a path, app home, so path component, which component is supposed to be loaded, app home, and what is the action, which is assigned to import the component. So it means the good part of the vaadin router that also the loading the component is asynchronous and dynamic. So at the beginning, you do not need to load all the content. So when the route is clicked, so the specific router is going to be loaded. It's going to be loaded. So, and let me create another one just for let's just test this one to see how the things are working. npm start. So again, it is working pretty nice. Right now, it is a vaadin just loading this actually the things. As you can see here, right now it is not posting back because I didn't define a router for each routing. As you can see, nothing is happening because I didn't define. Let's do something. Let's create another thing for a not found. It means if it is home, just do it. If it is not, go and load not found content. Not found.ts. So not found extend base content. So that is cool, but right now it is the fixed content. So even if I load the not found, the content always is going to be high content, and this is not correct. So let's start changing the base content. In the base content, each component is supposed to render its own content. So let's have a two-level of render. It means I can easily create a one abstract function, abstract render me, for example, as an unknown. And here I can say for a render, just call render me. Abstract means any other classes, any new classes that inherit base content should implement a render me. Otherwise, it's not going to be compiled, as you can see here. It means home right now, if I control point, is telling me implement inherited abstract class, which is this one. And right now here I can say, okay, return HTML this is home content, and I need to import lit, easy, and not found. I can say to implement this one and return HTML. The you are the content not found. That's it. HTML is so that is great. But important point, we need to set a router. If it is home, load this one. Otherwise, load just not found. So how to implement that one? Let me copy and paste to save time. I can say not found. If the path is whatever that you cannot find, because the order in the routing is important. You can have a different order, the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are going to change it here and we are going to add later. But at the end, if all these rows of the path are not going to be detected, so anything else, go to not found from this path actually loaded. Let's see everything is working. Let us save everything. Yes. It is home content. So let's see why it is not working. So I'm expecting that for the home, it's going to be working. For not found, this one. View content not found. I forgot to add the actually the name of components. So it means the reason that at custom element It is, what was the name I added here? Not found. The exact name should be here. Not found. Import custom element from lit.js. That's it. Let's go and test. Here you are. So if the router, so as you can see, it is exactly working in a way that we are expected. So if it is home, it is a slash, load this one. Otherwise, for anything else, just load not found. That is great. Again, for the first, this is the home content. For anything else, the content not found. That is good. So let's implement some part of this actually content. Where is it? To show more detail. Channel and my channel. So to see what else we can implement for the routing. To save the time, I'm going to bring these two sections named my channel and channel. It means the list of the channel that I have, and then my channel.ts, and better to say channels.ts. So what I'm going to bring, just my channel is supposed to have a list of channels, and when we click on one item, we are supposed to be redirected to the new page. So the data is going to come from a URL that we can again query the DHT part and fetch data and show. It means we need to implement also some functionalities that we can connect this content to read data from URL. So when we are navigating from one content to another one, or from a parent to child, so we can easily connect, send data between navigation, or between the process of a navigation between two components. So to show the things that we need, let me at first implement channels. So for the channels, I'm going to implement a class and channels base content. So import base content and implement the me, and here return HTML. So we need to import HTML from lit, and also custom element. We are going to call it my channels. So my channels, yes, and extract. No. Okay, I'm going to import manually. So custom element from lit /decorator.js. That's it. So, and what is it? Let me also copy and paste this content to save the time. So let's see what we have right now. For a channel, I'm going to implement a new router. So I need to add a new section in a router. So my channels, it means if my channels clicked, load channels, view content, my channels. The component name is supposed to be my channels. Channels, and my channels is here. Okay, that's it. Let's test it. That's it. It is a list of channels as a my channels. As you can see, I can go right now to my channel with some parameter here, with some extra parameter in the URL, a section from the URL, because we can have a different section like section 1, section 2, section 3. You can do whatever you would like here. So by having this one, generally you are sending some data from the my channel to edit channel, or for example, my channel. So this one is done. So before continuing implementing the my channel, we need to implement something, some facility and functionality for the base content that they can fetch data from URL. So how to do that? I come here to the base component and I add one property. First of all, property name location from route location, which is from actually vaadin router. It is from this router, this location. So property, yes. And then what is the issue? Let me bring it here. Okay. I forgot this one. And a property. To implement the property, I need to bring import property from lead decoration.js. That's it. So what vaadin router provide for us that if you implement on before enter, okay, to save the time, let me also bring the function here. So on before enter, receiving a one router location, and then we can assign this one to this property for the base content actually. This function is being called by a vaadin router. It is not the things we are supposed to be take care of it. And because we have it inside the base content, so any content like a channel, home, and anything that they have it easily, they can access to this location, as you can see. So with this location object, we can access to all section of URL, different section, parameter, and so on and so forth. So it means easily inside each content component, we can fetch the data from URL. So here in the base content, I can easily add another function named get URL param. So as a helper, get URL param. It means we can call this function and send a name of a parameter from a URL, and this one just easily return back the result as a string. That's it. Let's see how the things is supposed to be working. I'm going to the my channel here. I can export class. So let me see what is the good name for this one. It can be yes, my channel. Extend base content. My channel. So abstract written HTML. So HTML to import is to import HTML from lead, and also add sign custom element. So we are calling it my channel. So that's it. And import. Let's see if it can offer to import custom just JS. Adding a JS. So, and let me also copy and paste this content here that you can see how the things are working. So when the my channel content is being called, it means it should be some parameter inside the URL. So as an example, I'm going to read the parameter section, the first one from the object location. This dot location, as you can see, it goes to the base content because my channel is inherited from the base content. I can directly access the location. I can fetch and get whatever I would like, or I can call this get URL from actually this one. Easily using these two object or one object and one function, I can basically access to all information from URL. So that's being said, let's go and test how the things are working so far. Let's go here. So my channel, this one, not working. Because I forgot to add a router for my channel. So it means I need to implement a new router here. So the router is if URL is my channel with anything after that one, because the parent one is my channels can send any parameter or URL. So stars means anything here. Go and find a my channel component. It means channel and sorry, my channel, and just load my channel. That's it. Let's test it again. My channels. That's it. As you can see, the ID is 2. Extra parameter, it means 2. So we are going to send 4 and the extra parameter 4. So extra parameter, let me show you. It means in the channels, I can say extra parameters, any data, something like this. So the name of parameter is this one and the content is this one. So let's test channels, extra parameter, any data. Okay, that's great. So far we could implement a router. So we can route to different content. So we implemented not found for the item that we don't have. We implement some content here, and then we navigated to another content that we could connect or component to URL and fetch data from URL. So before going to the next step, let me show you something. As you can see, if I refresh the URL here, it is not working. So it means always I need to go to the root. If, for example, I'm here and I refresh the URL, so it is not working. So how to fix this issue? There is the topic is because of the history of API. It is part of actually. It is. Let me show you. It is part of a Webpack. So if you go to the Webpack configuration, there is a switch. Actually, the history API call. So just adding with a to option. So that's it. And rerun again. We can start. Refresh my channels, refresh, and it is working. So to refresh, and it is working. So that being said, we implemented and we finished routing. So far, so good. For the next step, we are going to implement a state management, as I explained. So let me get rest for a couple of minutes and then continue for a state management. So let's go to the state management. We are going to implement one customized small state management using RXJS and observable object inside this library. So, but you can use any kind of a state management that you would like or customize it or whatever. My aim is to implement a really small one that you can see how to have your own customized state management and how to use it and what does it mean basically, and then in a web component, so generally, and then feel free to replace it to implement your customized state management. So as I mentioned, I'm going to use RxJS library. So before I start coding, let me tell you how the thing is working. Basically, generally, we are going to have a one topic name object. So, a store. Inside one store, we are going to have a one subject. So just imagine like a real store that inside a vitrine, you can have a different subject. So anybody can come or any component can come to any subject and just register to that subject. So if others going to do some changes in subject, the subscriber are going to be notified. So it means the relation between component is going to be based on a subject that we are going to create. So a topic, anything, or subject, some component are going to subscribe and telling, hey, subject, if you change or somebody change you or somebody change part of your property or whatever, just notify us or notify me. So it is the topic of subject that when there is a change, internally, it's going to be observable. You will see how to implement that one. So observable is going to, oh, I'm observing this subject. So there is a change. There are some component subscribed here that if there is a change, just notify us. And I'm going to tell them, hey, there are some changes. That's it. And then other components are going to re-render again based on the new changes. That's it. Let's see how to implement state management. So let me share my screen. To show you what does it mean, I'm going to implement something like authorize. It means, let me add some authorized. Again, it is unknown. So authorized is going to be another abstract function, which means all other classes that inherited from a base content should override or implement actually authorize. There is no default implementation. Here we can say in a render if authorized, if this authorize equal true, just render this one. Let me also put here and else render return HTML that access is denied. That to show you what do I mean exactly. So it means the base content is going to make a decision if it is authorized user or, for example, logged in user. If it is logged in, so just, or whatever, just render the content. Otherwise, render access is denied. So for sure, we need to go to all content and all components that inherited or extends base content. And so, and authorized, sorry, let's change authorized because it is a Boolean. So let's change it to Boolean. Boolean, yeah, it is better. So here, Boolean. So I can say here, return home. Let's have it open to everybody. Channel, it is just should be available only for me. I can say right now, return false. What does it mean? They are right now hard-coded to show you what we are going to achieve. At the end, it's supposed to be something like this. From app-State or any state management or any state, just if logged in or if logged in equal true, just return true or condition if any specific local condition for this component. Otherwise, return false. So it means later on, we are going to expand this functionality and make a decision based on the state management object, not hard-coded. But right now, let's see what we are going to achieve later. Let's implement the fundamental. So right now, my channel is not supposed to be accessible for everybody because we don't have any login right now. Again, here, the same, it should be authorized, should be false. Return false. And not found should be available to anybody. It means not found should be return true. It means anybody can see the not found content. So for sure, it should be available to anybody. npm start. So home is available. My channel access is denied. As you remember, I put false. So there is no also channel. If I change it, also access is denied, but not found is available again. That's it. Not found is also available because it is true. So we know right now we are going to read the state management and to see it is logged in and or logged out. Who is supposed right now for the example of authorized set the state management? Generally, it's going to be sign in. It means in our flow, if we are going to put a correct email address and password and login, if it is correct, it means we go to DHT or blah, 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 there are some processes for later. If everything is okay, we need to set some property from state management. It's going to be closed because they are listening to state management. As soon as the changes apply from here, so other places are going to be here. So are going to be notified, so they can change the number of menu, they can do whatever they would like, and then the content is going to change from access denied to my channel. That's it. So what do I need? First of all, I need to have one AppState class. I'm going to call it AppState here. One AppState TS. So let's import behavior subject from, oh, sorry, I forgot to install RXJS. Let's go and install npm RXJS. So we need to import behavior subject from RxJS, and then let's create interface for the object of the state. So I can say I'm going to have an interface name state. Let's call it state logged in, which is Boolean. It is the key or the property I implemented right now, and we are going to use it. Let's add a few other things like agent key, which is going to be a string, and also is admin, if the user is admin or not. That's it. It is the state of our actually component application. So I can say export, oh, sorry, I removed export class name store. I'm going to have a store. We need to have a subject, which is, let's call it any, and a state also any, the subject that I mentioned earlier and I explained. So, and to have this one, I would like to implement the store as a singleton. If you know about singleton, it is fantastic. If you don't know singleton pattern, I highly recommend to pause and Google the singleton pattern and then continue. Private static instance from a store. So this store is that store. So, and then I can say in a constructor, this dot subject equal new behavior subject actually. So it means create a subject from a behavior subject of the RxJS. So with the default value of a state, one object state, and the object name state with the default value of the log in false. At first it is false, and then agent key default is empty, and is admin is false. And then in constructor, we can say this dot state, this dot subject dot as observable, as observable. So it means it is the subject that is the behavior subject, which is this one, our state, and the state that it is as observable. So you will see when we do some changes on a state, the subject as a subject is going to notify any subscriber. So here, and let's have a static get instance. It's the continue of the store singleton pattern. This instance, it is not there. Then this instance equal a new from this. Otherwise, the return is that instance. That's it. I can say this tool, it is a singleton pattern. Let me bring here or either here. This is a singleton pattern generally. So I need to have two important property: get a store and set a state. Set a state, receive a value as a state. New state supposed to be assigned. I can say const state equal make a new state object value, and then this dot subject dot the next one. So it's going to be everything from this subject value and everything from this state. We make exactly the same object as here. And then here. And then we go to the next version of this subject and get a store. It is not a big deal. What is the store? The store is this, the singleton. It means return this dot state. That's it. It is the get state. That's it. Basically, it is the store that. So let's change the base content to accept the store, and all other components actually can easily subscribe themselves to the store. So let me bring the code and then I explain to save the time. So I can say we are going to have some property from lead decorator.js state from AppState. So, and also store, and then subscription from RXJS, and plug also from a decorator of RxJS that actually plug is not from here, it is from import RxJS, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, operators, sorry. Operators, that's it. Yes. So in the base component, we are going to have one property as a state, another one as a store, another one as a subscription. In constructor, we receive one singleton instance of the store, and we make one object of a subscription. Subscription, it means this one, and you will see how it is working. In a connected callback, in the component lead component or a component standard. So when your component is attached to the DOM element, this function is going to be ready for you as a connected callback. It means it's going to be called for you, and we can override and put something exactly when it is ready, the component is connected. So we are calling the super, connected callback from the parent if there is anything, and then we can say create one subscription, get the store from our store, that the singleton object. So pipe a plug to the state. The state, it was the object that we created here. This one is the state actually. This is the state. And then base component, subscribe to the state with one function with any anonymous method. I specifically created a standalone function to show you how the thing's working. And then to this subscription, add one new sub function. That's it. So, and then I added one extra as a set state. So it means any component that inherited from a base component can easily set the state with a new state here. That's it. So, and we need to have this also changes in a base content. Let's see how the things are going to be changed. So here I need to import store. I need to store from RXJS. So actually, let me also, let's see how the things are working. Should I have, we can say, let's go for the store dot get instance, set the state. I'm going to change it as as a default parameter that we test the state management is working. Log in false, the default is admin false, agent key empty. That's it. So let's go, for example, in my channel. Here. In my channel, we can say that if this state, because right now state is part of BaseContent, and BaseContent is extend the base component. So we already have a state here. So in the channel, if a state dot logged in equal true, it means I already logged in. So it means return true, or else return false. So instead of having this one, I can easily say return this state logged in. We could easily do this one line in a base content, but I put it for the extra customized logic for each content. So let's see how the thing is working. So access is denied. As you can see, my channel is not accessible because still it is not correct. So let me come back here in the instance, change it to true, state management, the default. So if I go to home, refresh my channel, wow, my channel is open because I put this one to true. Let's return it back to false and implement this one. It's going to be access denied again. And let's change here. It means if there are something, just change the state. I'm going to go to the navigation, sidebar navi. What did we have for navigation? Sorry, it was, I think, in a header. In a header, yes, right header. It is the right header. So I already implemented right header. I'm going to bring it to save the time and explain. So how the things are working here. So for the component, I implemented sign in and sign out, logged in and logged out. So it means this one. So I'm fetching the email object is admin. If I put hidayat in my name in the email, we are going to put it as an administrator, and we are going to change it for sure later, but just as we are going to test. And then in the click, if it is hidayat for the email, just set login true with this one, and is admin, that is true. So, and then sign out, just set the state of this one, because this right header is inherited from base component, and all the base component has this object. So they are a part, they can access to state management. And then, and yes, it is generally the basic function of a login and logout, or sign in and sign out. We are reading some text box, make a decision, set the state, and for sign out, just set the state to the default, and that's it. So let's see. Go. My channel, access is denied. Here, login, and subscribe my channel. It is open right now because it is signing, and so it should be changed to the sign out. Why it doesn't work? The following property update, because so use a defined for class fit. So if it is signing, it's supposed to be changed, but right now this state management is not properly working, but it is helping us that in the TS config we need to change the switch, use define for class field. Let me change it to see how it is working, and then here. To false. Yes. So the following will not trigger update as expected because the index is set using class field store source. I need to read about this switch later on more in detail, but luckily it helped us to how to fix the issue. So everything here, let me refresh. Oh, my channel is access denied, sign in, login. Okay, sign out, it changed to sign out, but I implemented that any login is working. So sign in my channel without login, it is not working. So if I press sign in, I put log in. So I implemented in a way that it accepts if it is empty, just logged in. Logged in, it changed, it's automatically changed itself, and it changed. So let's see how it changed. Look how I implemented this one, right header. So here we can right now go and implement switch case. I can say if the HTML I implemented if else statement that if it is logged in, so change the sign in a gray. If it is already logged in, just render the logged out. So that is here. render HTML if the state is logged in, render this one. Otherwise, it should render actually this the other way around. So it means if it is sign out, this one, if it is sign in, the red one. So just imagine we are going to see some effects in the navigation bar. Let's see how the things are working. So I can say go to Navibar, and right now we need to do some changes. We need to bring some effect if it is not logged in. Let me bring some changes again here. Navigation bar. Let me bring in also display. I can say render everything here. So if, where is it? If a state is logged in, this one. Otherwise empty, and this one. It means let's see the effect. You will see what's happening here. By default, I'm hiding extra menu because the user is not logged in. So it means here, if it is not just only this menu, this home and search, if it is not logged in. If it is logged in, so add extra section. That's it. What's happening? Oh, frozen. So it seemed it was frozen, but all in all, that's it. We already implemented also the state management. There are something that, is there anything? A little bit, maybe some changes I'm going to apply, like a sexy design for the some part if there is any need, but generally that's it. For today, it is enough. We implemented routing and state management. So if you would like to see the code, go to the GitHub URL that I added in the description. So thank you for watching this video, and see you next time. Another video of UI, we are going to connect everything that we have to the Holochain part. Thank you, and see you next time.